Hi, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate. Today we're in Melaka, Malaysia, and we're going on a food hunting adventure today. We are going to be eating a local breakfast, trying to find some of Melaka's famous cendol. We're going to be drinking a coconut shake, and then we're finishing off with KUIH KERIA. We're starving, let's eat. We've got these amazing looking dishes for breakfast. We have ordered a nasi lemak with a side of AYAM rendang, so that's chicken rendang. We've ordered coffee, which is coffee and condensed milk. I've got an iced one, Thomas is a hot one. And we've also ordered a KAHWIN, which is a dish that we've never tried before, and it looks very interesting.
Starting today with nasi lemak, which a lot of people will say is Malaysia's national dish, and we love it so much. It is the perfect start to a day, but you can have this any time of day. You'll see people having it for dinner, lunch and breakfast, and a snack even. It is basically very incredible components put together to form one incredible dish. Those components are always the rice. So it's coconut rice, so rice cooked in coconut milk and with pandan leaves in there while cooking. Pandan is a very strong flavor in this part of the world, kind of like the vanilla of Asia really. It's beautifully scented and it just gives the rice a really floral taste. The sambal, which is always a key element to this dish. This one came in a little side dish, which is a little unusual. Normally that's just dumped on the plate, but what I've done is I've just poured all of that sambal straight onto my plate, and it's quite red, so I reckon the sambal might be quite fiery. I'm going to try a little bit by itself. Normally if it's darker, it's because it's more sugary or it's been cooked down more, so the sugars have come out and taken some of the spice away. Let's try this red one. Yeah, that's a good fiery sambal. Real twang right on the front of the tongue, and it goes whoosh, bursts with spice. That's going to be awesome when it's all mixed in together. It always comes also, this dish, with some sliced cucumbers just to freshen up the mouth, the peanuts, roasted peanuts, and some ikan bilis or anchovies. So they're just little dried anchovies and they give a really salty burst flavor through your mouth as you eat the dish. And the boiled egg. In this case, sometimes you get a half. In this case, we've got a whole boiled egg, so cut in half. And to make this even better than that, we've ordered chicken rendang to go with it. So rendang, often called a curry by foreigners, but it's not a curry. It's just a dry meat dish. So it does have a sauce, but it's quite a dry dish. It has lemongrass, ginger, all sorts of things put in there and cooked down, and can come with a number of different proteins, but in this case ayam or chicken. I'm going to try some of the rendang sauce by itself. That is so strong on the lemongrass. That's incredible. I've actually never had a rendang that is that strong in lemongrass. That's an absolute burst. It's so strong, that's amazing. But what it's time to do is mix all of this up. And if you look at the dish here, so you've always got this sambal, and you can just mix it all through. And look at the way it coats the rice, takes over. You can grab a bit of everything. So you've got the anchovies, the peanuts, you've got the chicken here. Let's peel a bit of that off. Look at that spoonful. I'm just going to go with that to start me off. Oh, that spicy sambal, that real lemongrass flavor from the chicken, the rendang, they go together like a match made in heaven. That is so good. This rice is very fluffy. It's all breaking apart, so it's very well cooked, very light. The salt from the ikan bilis, crunch of the peanuts. What a dish. Nasi lemak you will find all over Malaysia when you're traveling here, and it's hard to make it not your staple everyday breakfast. Absolutely incredible.
Time to get into this KAHWIN, and it's so fascinating. So it's a mashup of two different dishes, rojak or mamak rojak, which is an Indian Muslim dish, and it's like a salad, so it's made up of different components, prawn crackers and cucumber and tofu cubes all covered in this peanut sauce. And then mee rebus, which is like a noodle dish, often eaten for breakfast. It has yellow noodles and a sweet potato gravy. So this dish, the mee KAHWIN, is a mashup of those two classics, and it is filled with just all these interesting components. There's tofu, there's a boiled egg, there's these dough fritters which you would find in a rojak, there's sweet potato, which is a component of the mee rebus, there's green chili, I can see cucumber, I can see bean sprouts, there's the yellow noodles as well, and then you can see that the bowl has sort of been split into two halves. There's the more peanutty rojak style sauce, and then there's the lighter, sort of thinner mee rebus gravy. I'm just gonna get stuck in because it looks so interesting. There's just so much going on. Alright, let's give these dough fritters, bean sprouts and noodles a go. It's so interesting. It's like a really subtle spice. That gravy is sort of creamy. You get a little bit of a peanut taste in there. It's still warm, so the dough fritters are warm. But you got the crunch of the bean sprouts, the crunch of the cucumber. It's a fascinating dish. I'm gonna give this sweet potato and the chili and tofu a go as well. It's got like a real curry flavour also. I think what's most exciting about this dish, all the different textures and different components. There's softness of the tofu, that like mushiness of the sweet potato, the zing of the chili, the crunch from the chili and cucumber and the bean sprouts. I think it'll just keep evolving as a dish the more you eat. That's really good. Breakfast done. So the setup is like a kopitiam or a coffee shop, and there's all the different like vendors who have their own carts, and you just go and pick what food you want and order drinks. It's an awesome setup. So time for more food hunting. We're off to find some famous cendol. We've arrived at Aunty Koh Cendol. It's outside of Melaka town, and she is only open on Saturdays and Sundays from around 11:30 to 1:30. So it's a really fine window to get here and try her famous cendol, and there's already a ton of people in here. So let's get in line. Cendol is such a refreshing dessert. I am so excited to try this one. Thanks to all our subscribers who told us that we needed to come to Aunty Koh's to try her famous cendol. If you have any more suggestions about where we should be eating in Melaka or in Malaysia in general, please do let us know in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, we would love you to subscribe. But it's time to get in. So what makes Aunty Koh's cendol so special? We hear that she gets up at 3 AM each morning the night before she's serving cendol, and she grates about 40 coconuts and presses the milk out of them, and then she heads on over to the pandan bushes outside her house, grabs the leaves that she needs, presses those for the juice to make the pandan cendol noodles. Like, how amazing is that? I'm just gonna get in. It looks absolutely scrumptious. We've been here for half an hour, so we got here at 11:30, it's 12 now, and she's already sold out. That is one amazing cendol. That coconut milk is so creamy. There's so much flavour. This is just well worth eating. You have to come here if you're in Melaka. When you eat at Aunty Koh's, you have to do your own washing up, so make sure you're not rude and leave your bowl and spoon on the table.
That was an unreal food experience. It's so incredible that within half an hour she was sold out. So if you want to come to this place, make sure you're here on time. And as always, directions, restaurant names, all that down below. But we are now dialing up a car, a Grab or an Uber, and we're going to head to another hot spot here in Melaka, which millions of subscribers, well, not millions, we don't have millions of subscribers. We'd love to though, so don't forget to hit subscribe like Sheena said earlier. But lots of subscribers have told us about this place. So next food adventure. Next up, another institution, the Klebang coconut shake. Look at this line and this production line that's going on. This is one popular shake. So we're in the queue, let's get a coconut shake. The shakes have arrived and wow, they look spectacular. This place is just going off. They're delivering like handfuls and handfuls of coconut shakes. So it's got vanilla ice cream on top, and then I assume just coconut milk and coconut water and ice. Don't really know, but let's give it a go. It's quite thick. Oh, so the vanilla ice cream flavor is actually really strong. It's melting and going through, but then you've got this underlying coconut. It's got grittiness of the ice because it's not been mushed up so small that it's disappeared to water. That is so refreshing. It's a little bit more vanilla-y than I was expecting, so I'm just going to mix it up and see if I can get more of the coconut flavor. Yeah, that really worked. So that was chunks of actual coconut flesh, real coconut flavor. Oh, this is going to disappear so quickly. I think in about 2 or 3 sips, I will have drunk this whole thing. So refreshing, so worth the trip. A little bit out of town again, just like the Cendol place. As always, directions down below, restaurant names. Totally worth the trip. Cheers, Sheena. Enjoy. Awesome, so good, and I just love how Malaysians are so into food that they're willing to do this. They come to these places early, they line up, they get fanatical about it, and that is totally what we do. So this is such a great country to travel in if you're into food. And if you've seen any of our other videos, you'll have seen how much different food there is to have here. It's absolutely phenomenal. And our day still hasn't even finished. We're off to find another place to eat a nice snack.
Time to join another queue. This time it's for KUIH KERIA at KUIH KERIA Aunty Koh. We cannot wait to try these fresh KUIH KERIA. Let's get it. We've got our bag of KUIH KERIA. KUIH KERIA are actually a sweet potato donut. So sweet potato is mashed up with a little bit of flour, and then it's deep fried, and then while it's still hot, it's covered in this sugar syrup. So you've got this really crunchy sort of glaze on top of the donut, and they're still warm. There were so many people lining up for these things, so they must be good. Let's try them.
Let's give it a go. Wow. It really is like mashed sweet potato, but a bit lighter because of the flour. And then the sugar takes what is already sweet in the sweet potato to the next level, but not overpoweringly sweet.
No, when you bite into them, there's almost like a crust from the sugar syrup that's hardened. And so you bite in through the hard sugar syrup and then into this soft potato-y inside. Like there's still sort of bits of sweet potato in there, right?
Actual bits. Wow, that is good. It's a bit greasy, like my fingers are just getting a bit oily, but nothing crazy. They are a really good snack. We can see why the line is from here to next week. That is a popular stall. Incredible, totally worth lining up for. These stalls that we've been going to often have kind of funny hours, like they're very brief hours, or they open at sort of 11 AM or 1 PM, things like that. So make sure you check that description where we will list where they are, and then make sure you know the hours, because you don't want to come to these places at the wrong time. Totally worth, every one of them, totally worth visiting though.
Absolutely. Are we going to finish it up here? I'm pretty full.
I'm stuffed. And we've got 10 of these to eat, so we're going to be really stuffed by the time we finish all these.
This has been such an awesome Jalan Cari Makan adventure, or food hunting adventure. And I think what's been super special is that we've learned a bit about the stories behind the food. So when we were with Aunty Koh, we had a chat with her, and she was saying, and we have our facts wrong, that she actually got up at 1 AM to start preparing her coconuts, not 3 like I said. So and she's been there for 17 years. It's really fascinating to hear like the personal side of all this food that we're eating. So remember to subscribe for more of these types of videos. Lots of food here in Melaka and Malaysia and beyond. We hope we inspired you to eat and explore like a traveller, not a tourist. If you enjoyed this video, we would love you to give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Jumpa lagi!
Jumpa lagi!